2. Okay, what happened?
It shows live.
Yep, now we live now. So what's up, everyone? I hope all is well today. Matt Garland, NMLS number 58700, but better known as MG the Mortgage Guy. So look, guys, we got a special panel for you guys today. We're going to take it to one of my favorite cities in the whole entire United States of America. Although I've only been there one time in my life, but it's still one of my favorite cities.
Yes.
And we're in New Orleans today. But first, before I introduce you guys to my panelists, make sure everybody on YouTube, you like, comment, share, subscribe, especially like this video because we need this video to get out to the community. And the only way the YouTube algorithms do that is if you guys are liking this video. So make sure you guys like this video so that way people can get this information. Also, I want to give a special shout out to all the EYL University members here in the Zoom chat. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to all the earners. And a big special shout out to my team, Earn Your Leisure. And if you guys want to become a member of EYL University, make sure you use my annual promo discount code EYLMG to save 40% on the annual price. So if you guys are on YouTube right now, there's a couple of you guys there right now, just make sure you put like a thumbs up or something like that in the comments. So that way I can make sure that you guys can hear us loud and clear. But without further ado, I'm going to introduce my dope ass panel, and I'm going to start with Sherry Ann. How are you today?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
You know, I'm alive and blessed and corona free, thank God.
Good. We got to get you back down to NOLA sometime after all of this passes.
Look, let me tell you, I was so ready. We were supposed to be out there for DJ Envy and Flipping New Jersey's real estate seminar again.
Okay.
I think we was going to come out there either April or May.
It was coming
and
out.
I was looking forward to this because I'm like, you know what? I'm really going to spend some more time there. I want to go see the swamps. I want to go see some gators. Like I want to do some real touristy stuff. Right. You know what I'm saying? While I'm out there. So I'm really disappointed that I didn't get that, but hopefully soon.
You know, ironically, most tourists have done more in this city than locals have. I get schooled so much on things in this city that we can do that I have never done. Born and raised in this city all my life. And I'd be like, you did what? Where is that? You know, so I like when people come into town and take me with them because I get to learn more about the city.
That's dope.
I think it's all about taking your city for granted. And I find that people in a lot of places do that, right? You go to Cali, you go to different places, and a lot of them haven't been to a lot of, because when you travel and go on vacation, you're trying to experience that city in ways that you haven't. Versus
100%.
when you live in a city, you take it all for granted. I, for one, have never been to Essence. And that is insane.
Wait a minute, hold on. How you from New Orleans and you never been to Essence?
Because it comes every year. So it's like I can get there I get tickets every year. People like, I got tickets, you want to go? And I'd be like, not really. But I think now with COVID, I'll probably go next year.
Yeah, that's crazy. How you live in New Orleans and you're not even at the spot?
Never been to Essence, never been. You know, you take things for granted, you know, but you live and you learn. And I think COVID has put a lot of things into perspective. With things you want to experience and people you kind of want to be around, and you need to see a little bit more. So I'm a little bit appreciative here for COVID, a little bit.
You know what? You're 100% right about that, right? Because even here in New York, you know, just little things we take advantage of. And I can understand what you're saying. Like when people say, oh, you don't go to Times Square, I'm like, for what? Like, why am I going to Times Square for, right? Like, right. It's Times Square, bro. Like, it ain't nothing special. So right. I get what you're saying. So let's talk about your real estate career. How long you been in the business?
So I've been in business over 4 years. It'll be 5 years soon.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also a small-time real estate investor, working my way up to Julian. So
please don't say small
time. Don't let her deceive you, homie. Don't let her deceive small time.
How many properties you own?
I own 8 doors.
Come on, get out of here.
I mean, it's not where I'm still working, you know, and truthfully, you know, before I met Julian, right, I was doing it a little bit, but he kind of changed my perspective on a lot of things, which he has the tendency to do. So we kind of, you know, piggyback and ping pong ideas and different, you know, concepts, but he taught me to think about it on a bigger scale. So I say small time. That's only because my goals are, of course, to have an infinite amount of doors. So I'm working towards that now. But right now I have 8 doors. It's come in handy with COVID. I can say that. Been licensed, like I said, 5 years. Come June 5th, 2019, I was the #1 top selling African American female in NOLA metropolitan area.
Let's
Um,
go.
Things have been good. I'm blessed. I'm happy. I'm doing what I love for a living. I'm able to educate people. I'm able to show people how to build wealth. And
I have a pretty strong accent, but New Orleans, I think there's no other city like it. The food, the culture, the people, it's just a phenomenal city. So born and raised, I probably never will leave. As far as real estate, I've been in real estate for 5.5 years now, going on my 6th year. And I've had a lot of success in real estate, won awards. I'm a teeny weeny investor. I've been listening to Julian and Sharon and I talk, and she doesn't realize it, but she inspires me quite a bit. So trying to get more and more. So I'm in great company, but last year, July of 2019, I went in partnership with my own company, NOLA Home Realty Group, and have had a great deal of success, have been, in the top 5% of realtors in the city.
Wow, that's amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And all of this under 5 years?
Well, for me, 5.5.
5.5 years. So 60 months plus, you know what I'm saying? Like you able to capture all of this success. That's dope. Yeah. And let's go to the man, the myth, the legend himself, Julian Gordon, who needs no introduction.
What's up, y'all? It's Julian Gordon, aka Mr. Multifamily. I'm out here with New Orleans, these beautiful ladies. Cherian is my go-to realtor here. In fact, a quick story. Let me tell you how I found this woman. She was on the other side of the bargaining table. She sold me a home, and I was like, I need her on my squad. And so, yeah, she was on the other side of the table, and I liked the way she was playing the game. So immediately after we connected, and she's been bringing me deals ever since. So yeah, I'm thankful to her. And yeah, this is family down here. We all know each other and we support each other. It's a small city, about 400,000 people. So I'm new to the city. I'm only 2 years in, but I've been in real estate I'm going on my 7th year as of May. As of May, that's when I closed on my first home in Brooklyn, New York, the 3-family there. It's been an amazing journey. Last year was 7 properties, 25 doors. And now I'm actually doing a lot of work out in Baton Rouge with Anthony Kimball. And we're doing some major developments out there. So just continuing to scale up and go bigger, go home. So while this COVID stuff is going on, I'm laying low on the New Orleans portfolio. My portfolio is taking care of me right now. It always has taken care of me. Of all my tenants and all my occupied units, I only have one tenant that's not paying, and he's trying to milk the no eviction policy right now. And it's a tenant that I inherited. So a lot of people like, oh, what if tenants don't pay? It all comes down to how you screen your tenants. If you screen your tenants great, then you're gonna be in good shape. So I had tenants letting me know the moment that their stimulus check hit their account that they were paying me. They were cash apping me that same exact day because I built a relationship. A lot of times there's this friction between landlords and tenants, and I don't have that kind of relationship with my tenants. I'm there to support them. I provide them with quality, affordable housing. I take care of them and they take care of me. They're my eyes and ears on my property. They let me know when things are going down. And yeah, we have a great relationship. So that's why my occupancy rate is so high. And I've literally had tenants follow me to other properties. So that's the kind of landlord that I'm trying to be. There's a lot of slumlords out here, and I'm anti-slumlord, and I'm trying to create a new culture in terms of how landlords and tenants work together to create community.
That's dope, man. That's dope, man. I appreciate all those kind words that you just said right now, because people need to understand there's a big difference between being a landlord and a slumlord. So we're definitely going to do a deep dive in that later on in this conversation. But first, I want to give a big shout out to Keith Shep on YouTube. Thanks for the super chat. He said, thanks, great information. And we just started in this great information, according to him. And then Oyen Ortiz, I appreciate the super chat also for $20. So let's get into this, right? And I'm gonna start with Sherry-Ann, right? Since COVID-19 quarantine happened, how long has you guys been in quarantine? Like 2 months now, right?
2 months, yeah.
How has the real estate market been over the last 60 plus days since COVID-19 has came into our lives?
So for me, my experience, single family home buyers, first time home buyers, nothing has changed. People are still buying houses at a record rate here. Now, for my investors, I think a lot has changed with my investors because a lot of my investors were buying at a rapid speed prior to COVID, and a lot of them has kind of changed gears or slowed down a little bit, or they're kind of more cautious with it because, of course, they're buying investment properties. Some of them are flipping houses, and it depends on what price range they're in. They're a little bit more skeptical, so we're usually in talks about how to move forward on that side. But as for single family homes, even doubles, I should say, people who want to own and occupy one side of a double, I have not seen a single change. I think right now I have about 13 or 14 properties under contract, which is typically the norm for me. So people call every single day that's currently working. And I have a lender who actually has a program for furlough workers. So as long as they have a job to go back to, whenever quarantine or COVID is lifted, they can still get finance for a loan. So people still buying.
So with that program, can they close before they go back to work, or they have to wait till they go back to work?
No, they can close before they go back to work. It's very select few lenders that are doing that program.
They live in dangerous with that one.
But they're doing it. They're doing it. Yeah.
Wow, that's the first that I've heard.
Yeah, it is for certain industries. It is for certain industries. So of course, hairstylists, they scrutinize that way more. Eyelash techs, nail techs, things of that nature. But any other industries, all industries, things of that nature, they're taking them.
So y'all look like y'all got your hair did. Y'all looking good. How y'all get your hair?
Julie, now you know I keep it real, right? This is a wig that I put on 30 minutes ago.
Hey.
It looks like something different under this wig.
Hey, right? Melissa got it together.
Melissa always has it together.
I've been here this weekend. Praise the Lord.
Yes, amen.
Amen to that. Sunday, hopefully.
Man.
Big fool you.
So let me ask you, so what industries typically, so we're talking more like banking, oil, like you said, one of the stable jobs.
Correct.
Where those businesses are still in business, but they just furloughed temporarily.
Correct.
But folks who are maybe self-employed, those are the folks who probably can't participate.
Correct.
That's interesting. I as a lender, for me, I haven't ran across any programs like that. Mm-hmm. I don't even know if I would me as a loan officer be comfortable with lending somebody that's on furlough, just because if they do go on furlough, if they close and they don't make mortgage payments and they miss mortgage payments in the first 12 months, then I have to get back my commission.
Yeah.
So for me, like as long you tell me on furlough, I'm like, yo, you got to wait till you go back to work, period. Mm-hmm. So with that being said, right, so the first time home buyer market is still moving. One to two family homes are still moving, no issues. What about grant programs?
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
So there are down payment assistance programs. I guess one misconception I experience pretty often is people think just because they're a first-time home buyer, they qualify for assistance, which is not accurate. You still have to meet the income guidelines. You still have to meet the credit score guidelines. So there are city and state programs still available. Typically, the credit score needs to be at least a 640, and that's 2 or more of your scores would have to be a 640 or higher to qualify for those programs. But there is a lot of money still available on the small side, which is just covering your immediate down payment versus grants that go up to like 50 and 55,000 to purchase a home. Now that money does not come to you in your pocket, it goes towards the purchase of that property, but there is money if your credit score is 640 or higher, and people are utilizing those programs. Now they do come with higher interest rates, right? I'm seeing those programs in the high 4s to the low 5s. And if you put your own down payment down, I'm seeing as low as 2.75, 2.8. For people with, of course, higher credit scores, but that's the lowest interest rates that I'm seeing. On average, probably about 3.5, 3.75 in the market right now down here. But yeah, there are programs available. I tell people if they need the money, use it. And if you don't need to use it, then put your own down payment down and go with the lower interest rate. And some of those programs are coming with no PMI, which is private mortgage insurance. So, and those are portfolio loans with certain companies, but they have some pretty good programs out.
That's not bad. So Melissa, let me ask you this, right? With these first-time home buyers and you're putting in offers, are homes appreciating are they depreciating in your market right now, or is it flat because of COVID-19?
There's slight appreciation. I mean, I was running numbers today and kind of looking at what the sales volume was 2019 versus this year. So there has been a slight increase in the value. It's not a huge jump, but there is appreciation right now. And there's buyers in the market, like Charian said, it's hot right now. I mean, still in bidding wars. I put in an offer on something yesterday at full price and still got a rejected offer. So if it's priced right, it's still moving because we do have several buyers that are well qualified despite everything going on with COVID.
Wait a minute, hold on. So
Yeah.
you put in a full price offer and it was rejected?
Yep.
It was rejected, not even with a counter. It was on the market for 4 hours and received an offer. So there were 3 offers on the table. I put in a full price offer and it came back rejected. So obviously they got over asking price. I don't know what offer they went with, but I thought for sure this is full price. We got it, and we did not.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me about this property. Was it a single family, a duplex? What's going on with this?
Single family in Kenner. It's priced at $205,000. Beautiful home. It was newly renovated. And we literally, my buyer sent it to me that night. We scheduled something the next day. It's already going. So it wasn't even on the market 24 hours, already under contract. So people are still buying. There's several people still employed, and if they're employed, they're still going forward with purchasing.
Oh, so what's the average days on market right now? What was it if you know these numbers, I'm not going to hold you to it to be accurate with it, but pre-COVID versus now, like were the homes still flying off the shelf like in 24 hours pre-COVID?
Absolutely, if they're priced right. So if you have something that is priced where it should be, it's going to move fast. I mean, we got bidding wars going on. People are getting above asking price. I mean, I had something that I didn't even think was priced well that was under contract in 8 days with multiple offers. So, I mean, people are still buying, but I would say if it's priced right, just a few days or days on the market. I'd have to look at the whole New Orleans market to see an average overall in New Orleans, but for the most part, they're moving.
Yeah.
Damn, that's incredible. So above asking, bidding wars. This doesn't sound like the real estate market is crashing in New Orleans.
No.
Where's the crash? We the people want to know about the crash. Where is it?
No, it's not crashing. I mean, I think there are less sales compared to last year this time. But what I'm thinking is that we're going to have a later spring. So instead of the April, May boom, I think it's going to be June, July that it's going to explode, when people get back to working and back to some sort of normalcy.
Look, I've been saying this from, since this started, when I just started looking at all the numbers, and I've been telling folks like, yo, I don't think this market is going to crash because what happened in 2008 during the subprime, it was, lenders, the banks, Wall Street, we the ones who made the issues happen. We crashed the market, right? This is a health pandemic. This is something that was nobody's fault. So I've been saying like, this is not going to crash because the government's just going to keep printing money just to kind of bail everybody out. And look what they've been doing. They're literally bailing everybody out right now, from the corporations to the consumers. I mean, there's more stimulus checks coming. I've never seen anything like this in my life. So to hear you guys talk about that the market is still on fire, it honestly doesn't surprise me. But and that's one of the main reasons why I'm doing this and going to city is because I want people like yourselves to kind of who have their sleeves rolled up every single day working with buyers and sellers. You guys have your fingerprint on the pulse of that community. So you guys know better than some folks on the news or some of these internet people. So what's like the hot areas for a first-time home buyer to buy? And how is the market for multifamilies out there? Because in the South, it's typically more single families versus multis.
New Orleans.
Not in New Orleans.
Not in New Orleans. New Orleans is more multifamily, Julian?
A lot of doubles. That was like a way of living for New Orleans. And a lot, what we've seen is the last few years, they've been converting doubles into singles, but now a lot of investors have stopped. Even with my investors who do flips, I'm like, do not convert that double to a single, leave it as a double, because one is another stream of income, right? If you can live on one side and have somebody else rent out the other side to pay their entire mortgage, or you rent out both sides, or like here with the Airbnb rules, legally you can rent out the other side of a double if you live on the other side here and you have a homestead exemption. So doubles has always been, I grew up in a shotgun double where you can literally look from the front door to the back door, just, standing at the front door. So it's like, it was a way of life. Some people still live that way, but we have a lot of doubles here. Problem is, everybody's taking Julian's course. Everybody now wants to buy doubles. And so now it's like Melissa said, it's bidding wars. I put in one on a double just yesterday, full price offer, didn't get it. It's just the norm. Everybody now is taking these courses and they are like, hey, I want to be an investor. I want to buy a double. And there's just not enough out here for everybody.
Yo, Julian, chill out, bro. We trying to get some doubles, man.
Hey, I hear you,
too
man.
much game, bro.
Hey, man, I was in New York, and to get my second property in New York would have been $1 million. It would have been $1 million, right? And 25% down on $1 million would have been $250,000. So I knew I had to come to a different market if I wanted to expand my real estate portfolio from New York. So like you and like everyone here, I was in love with New Orleans, and so much so that I was willing to come here. But I had invested here prior to moving here, and the market was right then. A double was around $200,000 then. It was like me shopping at Ross in comparison to New York. And New York was like Neiman Marcus, and coming to New Orleans was like shopping at Ross, but not just at Ross, at the clearance rack at Ross, right? I was like, give me that, Sharon, give me that one, and that one. That's literally how last year went. All right. So, and that's what it felt like. But I believe that the new wave for cities that are designed like this, it's going to make sense for that to be your first home, right? Cherry and I sold a double. I bought it at what, 125. We sold it at 180, I think, and that was just in about 18 months. Because I think that's the smartest decision for first-time buyers, to have a business model baked into their home. And then eventually, if you want to get to your dream home, then you do that later on down the line once you've got some equity in that first asset. So I believe that people are changing in their consciousness about housing, because housing is continuing to rise. The price is going to continue to go up for housing. I think people are getting a little bit smarter about that first decision, and not thinking that their first home has to be their dream home, but that they need to buy an asset that will eventually pay for their dream home instead.
I 1000%. I think that's why me and you get along very well, because we kind of speak the same language, just in different words. But I 1000% agree. And your multifamily movement students, they are like wild African dogs. They hit me up all day long.
On you, they stay on you, don't they?
Yo, bro, they be hitting me up like, yo, Julian said you the one, so I need my loan today. I'm like, oh, yo, slow down.
Yo, and I'll tell you this. Let me tell you this. Guess what? My enrollment has expanded in the midst of COVID. It's gotten greater than pre-COVID, because people realized that they had no asset. They had income, but they had no asset. And so people are hungrier for asset now than they've ever been before. So my student enrollment has gone up in the midst of COVID.
No, that's official, man. So let's talk about these doubles, right? So Sherry-Ann, you said you had a double yesterday. What was the sales price? I'm just curious of these numbers real quick.
175. Listen, if my client wouldn't have put an offer in, I would have. And I told her that, like, seriously. And hopefully, I'm hoping it comes back to the market. I don't know if that's a bad thing or not, but I'm hoping to buy and it comes back to the market, and either she or I can get it. But it was advertised as a 3-bedroom, 2-bath on both sides for 175 in NOLA. But when we did the walkthrough, it was actually 4 bedrooms, 2-bath on both sides. So it was like a steal, in my opinion, for that price, in great, very good condition.
How much are the property taxes on that unit?
I didn't run the property tax number. I mean, it's easy for me to get. 175 with a homestead. I'm just gonna say
with a homestead, probably like 1,500.
About 1,500. Yeah, I was gonna say 1,500 a year.
Damn. And is it flood insurance?
On that property, yes.
So how much would the insurance plus flood cost?
Well, maybe 1,200, 1,300 a year.
I don't do non-flood X. All my properties flood X.
Really?
Yeah, I don't have any in flood zone.
It was elevated.
I'm cool.
So you're talking a first-time home buyer could have bought this double, this 2-family, with as little as $6,125 as a down payment, right. Okay, and have a mortgage payment of $1,071. Right now, is your market prone to give closing costs, like seller's concessions?
Yes.
So they could have got seller's concession paid for, paid for the closing, down payment of $6,000, had a mortgage payment of $1,000 a month, how much would that rental income been for that unit?
4-bedroom, easily 1,500 a month.
Oh wow! So even if they just rented, if they lived in it for 1 year, right? They did the house hacking strategy, live in it for 1 year, they get 1,500. So their mortgage is paid for, plus they're making $400 a month, and they're living for free.
Correct.
Now, when they go to move out, how much could they get for the departing unit?
Easily 1,500 a month. They both was 4 bedrooms, 2 baths on both sides.
Wait the fuck a minute. So you telling me in New Orleans I can go get me a 2-family and collect me $3,000 a month for $175?
You didn't hear me. I moved to New Orleans. You hear me? I moved to New Orleans.
Ross. I don't like the Ross analogy though.
Are y'all serious right now?
Super serious.
Yes.
Is this normal, or is this was just like a fire sale? Like,
No,
what's the average price for doubles in New Orleans?
I would say 200